Trump is a crook in charge of a criminal empire. He has come to Scotland and shaken down our government.
This was Trump's view as his motorcade made its way to his golf course in Scotland today. One sign there reading, "Release the files, you lying jobby." I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but jobby, J-O-B-B-I-E.
Man, do I love my country. Hoping to outrun the MAGA firestorm around the Epstein case, Donald Trump is in Scotland for a 5-day golf trip. To be fair, that's just what it has to be called. I mean, I wish I had the job in which I got to go on a taxpayer-funded 5-day work trip in which I visit 3 golf courses in those 5 days. Then again, there was a time when you would never associate such an excursion with the role of the President of the United States. Before Donald Trump, of course, because he's done this in the past.
This man's sign reads, "This is not Pedophile Island. You are not welcome here." That's what it says. And then at his golf course itself, a sign reading "Twinned with Epstein Island" has been put beneath the golf course's actual sign. There it is. It looks like it's in similar type that took a lot of planning, and they attached it. It looks like it was meant to be there. Even the local elected officials were in on the trolling. Stephen Flynn, Aberdeen's entirely bald representative in the British Parliament, who you can see there in the photo, told the BBC that he would be busy washing his hair during Trump's visit. It's quite a troll. So while Trump is going to literally great lengths to try to get away from the Epstein story, it seems he's having a bit of trouble.
The trip is expected to cost US taxpayers millions of dollars, as well as Scottish taxpayers. Yeah, my dad is absolutely fuming. After a mere 43 golf trips so far in the first 6 months of his second term, Trump's Scottish visit for the opening of a new course being billed as, quote, the greatest 36 holes, is expected to cost about $9.7 million, according to analysis by Huffington Post. Now, it's been designated by the White House as a work trip, with Trump expected to visit his Turnberry and Meany golf courses, as well as open the new McLeod course at Trump International Golf Links. And as a result, there were a few people who showed up.
The Scottish government has bended the knee and kissed the ring. This is a protection racket. Donald Trump is a crook in charge of a criminal empire. He has come to Scotland and shaken down our government. It's like giving the school bully your lunch money. They will just keep coming back for more.
People in small boats who are desperate to come here is some sort of principled aim. It's disgusting. It's racism. It should stop. As far as we're concerned, refugees are welcome here. We want to support this demonstration because we share so many of its aims. Like everyone, we're appalled at the behaviour of President Trump on so many levels. His attacks on women, his attacks on abortion rights, his attacks on federal civil servants who he sacked in the thousands, his attacks on the environmental organisations and the environmental network that, limited as it was, the federal government had set up. So in that sense, he's not only a climate denier, he acts on what he says. And when he's a racist, he acts on that. So the mass deportations are happening in Los Angeles and other places throughout the United States are basically a racist attack. He wants to divide citizens in America. He wants to divide the working class in America on racist lines. And it's fantastic that the people who we've seen here, particularly in Los Angeles, have been fighting back against ICE in a very organised way. That's what we need.
To give you a wee idea of the expenses factored into the upcoming trip, they include Secret Service overtime, the hourly operating cost of Air Force One for its 3,000-mile transatlantic journey, and the transportation of Marine One helicopters and motorcade vehicles. According to the GAO report, the hourly operating cost to run Air Force One is just over $273,000, meaning the total for flights alone to Scotland and back are around $3.8 million. Now, it's been noted in previous analysis, the bill for Donald Trump's taxpayer-funded travel and security his first term, just for golf alone, was upwards of $150 million, spending around 293 days at his own resort.
I don't think many Scottish people would feel he's welcome. I think it's an embarrassment that he is coming here at all, personally.
people have their own opinions, and I like to not offend people. So I would say he's welcome to come. Talking is always good. To divide and keep people separate from one another without discussing tends to create more problems than conversation.
I don't care. Doesn't interest me at all.
I don't think so. No. I'm pretty sure we've all heard about him, and no, definitely Obama. Yes, yeah.
Now listen, presidents go on trips. It's part of the gig. Now, not all of them go and golf on those trips, but flaunting his own personal businesses while the very taxpayers paying for it are struggling at home, then of course this has to be called out.
General Motors shares T-boned by tariffs. The stock is diving several percentage points here, 7+% after the auto giant reported a 32% slump in quarterly profits due to a $1.1 billion hit from the tariffs, which GM says will actually worsen in the current quarter.
See, over the next month or so, we're going to roll out dozens of deals. Oh, there are so many coming, and you're going to see deal after deal. This is going to start coming next week and the week after and the week after. We've got lots of them in the hopper. We're going to announce a whole bunch of deals over the next week or so.
Are you confident we can get the big ones, the big deals done?
I have them done. The next 2 weeks are going to be weeks for the record books.
That was just a couple days ago. So far, only 4 trade agreements have been announced.
Right, and it is both at home and in Scotland, in which Trump's visit is expected to demand major police operation, which will cost Scottish taxpayers millions of pounds, especially with the protests that are taking place throughout the weekend. Now, according to a BBC report back in 2018, during a 4-day golf trip to Scotland back then, more than 5,000 police officers were deployed to the UK, and the Treasury contributed around £5 million to it, help cover the costs that were incurred by the Scottish police force. But the thing is, as we've discussed, right, he's hoping that fleeing to another country will mean avoiding more questions surrounding Epstein.
Donald Trump has gone after news outlets in the past since his return to the White House. Now he's banned this Wall Street Journal reporter from traveling with him. He's also sued CBS. It's part of a broader strategy to sort of shape the narrative and silence the press.
Yes, it is, Delano, and it goes back to since his return to the White House. He did this in his first term, and let's be honest, his animus, his love-hate relationship with news outlets, with media organizations, really goes back all the way to his days, as a real estate developer in New York City. Look, one of the questions is right now, Donald Trump appears to be on course to maybe outdo Richard Nixon. I'm going back over half a century, right? In his hostility towards and crackdown on the U.S. press, the free press, and the protections of journalists with regard to the First Amendment, whether it is defamation lawsuits or perceived defamation lawsuits, whether it's lawsuits against organizations whose coverage of him, Donald Trump, he doesn't like, unfavorable, perhaps too probing, too investigative coverage. If he doesn't like it, you are a target. The climate in U.S. news organizations, if not stifling at this point, because there remain many independent news organizations, it is becoming more and more suffocating, more and more claustrophobic by the day. What we have seen since he's come back to office, you asked me about the WSJ being the latest, suing it for $10 billion, including Rupert Murdoch, the owner, for the story the recently published story about Donald Trump's ties with the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, who killed himself in jail, or was found dead in jail in 2019. All of this, when he came into office, he's since then all but dismantled or tried to dismantle Voice of America. He has, with his minions in Congress, that is the people who do his bidding in Congress, the lawmakers in the Republican Party, have basically revoked public funding from public broadcasters, the Public Broadcasting Corporation.
But the Scottish people had something else in mind. They were on hand to remind him. Alba Gabrath.
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.MeidasTouch.com. All 100% USA union made.